Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 26 of Multiblock Madness, and this is what I'm greeted to logging into my world today. I don't know what's happening. I just started recording because it looks like everything's blowing up. Something here is tripping out, and I think it's our pressure refinery. And I think it's just a graphics effect, so I'm going to try relogging. But it really scared me. There we go, much better. I had to reboot my computer. Probably a good thing. I'm one of those people that reboots, once a week on a good week. But anyways, enough technical issues. Let's get into Minecraft. Today, my goal is to, oh boy, this is laggy, get into the Ultimate Ingot chapter with the Shadow Chamber. So the Shadow Chamber itself requires tier 5 structure frames, which means we have to make at least obviously a tier 5 void, well I guess a tier 4 void miner to make the tier 5. In support of that, I've actually gone through tiers 3 and 4 off camera between episodes, just because I didn't want to have to wait it's only like an hour and a half maybe, but I got up to the tier 4 miner. It's currently running max upgraded, and I believe it's produced enough crystals that we're ready to go up to tier 5. Yeah, I've got almost 1,000 Ionite. So let's start today off by tearing down our 2 tier 4 miners and turning them both into tier 5 miners and making a few extra of the frames to use on the shadow condenser. I'm kind of curious how much energy the tier 5 and 6 miners will take. I think the 4 was like 260k or something like that. Is it still? No, it's gone. But I suspect this will be like 1 million-ish RF a tick if I had to guess. A bit over 1 million. It's using 6 speed upgrades and the rest, I think there's like 10 luck upgrades. Good news is it blasts out crystals. These Atheum ones, I think, are the last crystal in environmental tech, and we're going to need it very soon because I believe it's one of these quests is an Atheum crystal. Both void miners are upgraded and the quarry in the beneath has been turned off, so now all the ores we see here are actually coming from the void miners. We're now at a point where we realistically do not need to run the quarry anymore. There is one thing that maybe possibly might need a core, and that is for uninspected mineral. This only generates in world. It doesn't come from a void miner, and when we get into the late game neutronium grind, I don't know if we need a significant amount of this, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. For now, literally like 2 minutes of running this has given us 176 pieces of Atheum. I think it takes just short, somewhere around 200, right? It's like 92 structure frames to make the tier 6, so 92 plus another 6 blocks for the controller, so it's a little bit over 200, but in like another minute I can upgrade our tier 5 void miner to tier 6. Do we need it? No, probably not, but might as well do it. In addition to the crystal, the only real other cost is a whole bunch of nether stars, but these come from deep mob learning, right? I just set up a wither data model, so basically free, aside from the time it took to get here. But it bets on how much energy this takes. Let's see, the previous tier was about, oh, is it gonna fit? Just barely. Haha, perfect. The previous tier was like a little over 1 million, right? This is at least 4 times that. So like 6 million and change maybe is my guess. Let's see. And ooh, 8 million. Dang, how much energy was I making again? It was like 20, right? No, I'm only making 10. So I guess we're going to need more power, or maybe I just don't run this with all its upgrades. It's producing, oh wow, I can't even extract out of the chest fast enough. Yeah, it's producing every tick it digs up a set of ores, and there's how many luck upgrades? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13. So on average it's digging up like 7 ores a tick. That's a lot of stuff. 3 more of these item exporters, which they can move up to a stack of items per tick, but I think they can only see, like they'll only move a single item stack. So, you know, they can do up to 64, but they realistically only hit less than that. But 3 more of them keeps our items moving into the drawers, and ore generation is taken care of for the rest of the game. I'm going to not upgrade the Void Resource Miner. Well, its energy usage is like 0. Even if we quadruple that, that's not going anywhere, right? Okay, fine. I'll upgrade it. You win, game. 16,000 and change, almost 17,000 arithmetic. That's pennies compared to the 8.3 million being used here. So that's our, yep, that's a lot of resource generation. Honestly, most of the resources generated by the Void Resource Miner are useless, but I don't know, it's like my only source of soul sand. It's kind of trippy watching it do that thing too. Anyways, let's get back to making our shadow condenser now. So step 1, craft all these blocks now that we have tier 5 structure frames. The only thing in here that we might have to build something for is the Dew of the Void. So let's get everything but the Dew of the Void first. The Dew of the Void is also the fuel used to power it, so we're gonna have to set up a system to craft a lot of it, because it takes 4 buckets to make each midnight ingot, and these are used in huge quantities in extended crafting. So we're gonna need a lot of Dew of the Void. Let's actually start with the Dew of the Void. So I'm here in the end, mostly for an Enderman soul. It in the bottle, but also because I kind of want some shulker shells. These are used to make the higher tier Ender Isle capacitors, and we're at a stage where I want the high tier Ender Isle stuff for speed. So I think I have like 17 levels of looting on my sword. So I one-shot these and they give a bunch of shells. While we're at it, let's take one for the road and get ourselves an elytra. Why do we need an elytra? We probably don't. But I have one now. Ooh, it's nice to grab a few highly advanced frames while we're here. Saves us the trouble of making those as well. Neat. Those shells will be turned into stellar capacitors. We can do better with enchanted totemic capacitors, or probably even maybe possibly loot caps, but we're going to need a lot of capacitors going forward. So just be able to say, you know, hey, make me 10 tier 5 caps, pretty good. We can also start using the enhanced machines for even more speed. Maybe these are a bit overkill, but you know what? That's fine. It uses up to 320,000 RF a tick on a machine whose max recipe is 20,000. So, you know, I don't know if it wastes energy, and I don't think it can process more than 1 item a tick, but so be it. With that little bit of setup out of the way, let's look at how we actually make Dew of the Void. So it's made by taking nutrient distillation and imbuing it with grains of piezoality, which is just a pulsating crystal, the furnace, and then a alloy smelter, and then a sag mill step, and grains of the end. This one's a bit more trickier. We have to sag mill a ender crystal. That's made by soul binding a vibrant crystal with an enderman soul, and that requires some EXP and a soul binder. So I've crafted the machines, but we have to make these enderman souls still. These are most easily made by taking a powered spawner for enderman and setting it in capture mode. So let's make one of those. This is why I have an enderman soul vial, or why I grabbed one. We can turn our broken zombie spawner, a broken enderman spawner. Oh, that was fast. 640 a tick. All right. And then combine that with a powered spawner in an anvil. Takes 16 levels. I'll just waste a bunch. And that makes a powered enderman spawner. And then we can set this to capture mode, give it a capacitor, and I imagine this will be extremely fast because it runs at 512,000 RF a tick. But this will fill empty soul vials with enderman souls. Oh, and the nutrient distillation is just, we need some, well, water, trivial. I'm going to use probably a head because I have like 20 million wither skeleton skulls, and probably something like sugar. Just, well, here, which one of these can I most easily craft from my essences? Can I make mushrooms? I can make mushrooms from essences, so we'll probably use mushrooms because they have slightly higher yield to make the nutrient distillation. For this setup, I am using a single crafting card to pull in vibrant and pulsating crystals with Trousers Edition applied energistics for these relatively simple crafting trees. Like this is literally the entire crafting tree for this item. The performance impact of crafting cards is greatly reduced. So they're, generally speaking, you're free to use them as long as the crafting tree is small. So anyways, crystals get pulled in, Endermen get captured, it all gets jammed together. I have a tank of experience here. I'm going to fill this up with a lot of the experience probably from our mob farm, although I do have to move that experience over semi-manually, which is a little bit annoying. But, you know, there's tons of experience in there. I just have to get it converted into Ender IO experience because Essence of Knowledge is not Ender IO experience, but whatever. Like has to be XP juice. In any event, eventually it gets converted over. Well, I'll convert it over manually. We put it in here, it turns into the crystals, gets sag milled. The other crystal comes here, gets sag milled, and it all gets dumped into here where it becomes Dew of the Void, which I will store in a probably just a portable tank. I want a lot, but not infinite amount of it. Like so. 467 levels of experience ought to last a while, right? I would hope. Anyways, finally the Dew of the Void gets jammed on a storage bus. I need, I think it was like 5 buckets of it to build the multi-block, and the rest of it will be used to fuel it. All right, so was that actually fine? Yeah. All right, so now I just have to gather up the rest of these components. I don't expect anything here will give us a challenge, and then we can build it, but it has to be built in the beneath, which means if I want to get my ME system over there, we'll also need a quantum tunnel. I've gathered up on all the stuff for both the multi-block as well as the quantum ring. However, in order to use the quantum ring, I need to have some quantum entangled singularities. So that's supposed to get picked back up. I believe, let's double check. A quantum entangled singularity is made by dropping singularity under dust, causing an explosion. Yep. So, singularity, ender dust, and cause an explosion. I guess if the explosion... Nope, it looks like it worked. Did it? No, it did. I guess if the explosion gets eaten by the flowers, it doesn't work. Hold on. Might have to cause a few explosions. Oh, wait, but what if the first explosion works and then... No, looks like that did exactly what I wanted. All right, good. So this makes us quantum entangled singularities. They come in pairs of 2. We need 1 of the pairs right now. The rest are for an investment in the future. I doubt we'll ever use 8 quantum rings, but each one of them has a unique frequency in the MBT data, and that's how it knows which 2 quantum rings to link together. So let's set up one side of these. I typically prefer to transfer the P2P channels. So we'll put our quantum ring on the subnet, and then that way we can, on the other side, use more than 32 channels should we need it for whatever reason. Over here in the deep dark, I've set up a cave illuminator to hopefully light up the place a little bit. I dropped it off a little while ago, but it's still definitely not done. I want it bright enough that I don't get harassed by mobs here. I could also set up the peaceful ritual. However, I believe it needs to see the sky, and I think there's a bedrock roof here. So I don't exactly know how that works. It might be content with seeing bedrock at the top. I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, for now, I appear to be not harassed, which is good enough for me. So we set up our quantum ring on the other side as well, and now we have access to our P2P subnet here. All we have to do is get a P2P tunnel and link, that's the wrong way, link that with one of the tunnels in the overworld. I've already saved that to a memory card. Oh, but I shift click, dang it. Now I have to go back home. Shift click is new configuration. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to paste configuration. Now I have to remember which P2P tunnel I used. I think I remember because I only have a handful left available. It was this one. Shift click and regular right click. This time. We also need to bootstrap the system with some power. So the P2P or the quantum ring will not initially transfer power. Well, it will transfer power, but it needs to be powered to do so. Kind of a chicken or egg situation here, right? So right now I'm on infinity energy, I believe. Yeah, that's slowly ticking down. Once we get everything set up here, I should have regular Wi-Fi access. So if I get a energy acceptor, drop that there, drop our power cell here, that should boot this up, and then now that it's powered, it can sustain itself. But copy that before I accidentally mess it up, and then get our Wi-Fi set up. So an access point here with some wireless boosters should give me non-infinity. There we go. Yeah, now we have wireless access here without consuming infinity energy. So I can set up probably want at least a crafting terminal, crafting terminal on this side, so I can access the contents without my wireless terminal. Unfortunately, I don't get, I can't set up I don't get an interface. Well, I could put an interface terminal here, but an interface terminal cannot be used to drop off 3x3 crafting recipes. I guess it can. We can use it to drop recipes off into the old molecular assemblers to use temporarily, and then when I go back to the overworld, I can switch to setting up the recipes in the real, into the real mass assembler. Now that we're established in the beneath, let's build ourselves a basic shadow condenser. I say basic because we're going to do some upgrades to it before we actually start using it. I noticed actually that it doesn't have a energy input hatch, so I guess it doesn't use energy. Is that true? Yeah, it's fluid powered. All right, one shadow condenser coming right up, and it's built. All right, so the shadow condenser by default, do I have the thing pinned? Produces pin this. All right, to produce one midnight ingot takes, one ingot, one dragon scale, one aethium, one void crystal. However, there's good upgrades to be made, so we can double our output with a void metal block. Just put that on top of, what does it say, above the circuitry in the front. So that I don't think there's anything in the UI to tell me that it works, but that doubles our yield. Excellent. For triple output, we put our mithrilium block. And quadruple is, I assume that is the higher tiers. Let's make this first. This is the low tier stuff, right? Yeah. So I should just be able to ask for, I guess I have to make sure I have enough aspects. I'll ask for that later, because there's some other low-hanging fruit too. A glitch infused block gives us, what is that, a 20% chance to, I think, not consume the input. So I might have to, how do I make this? We throw, do I have glitch fragments? No, so we're going to have to do some DML trials. Let's head back to the overworld. And, well, here, let's see if there's anything else I can do. Block of ice dragon steel to, I think that's use less fluid. And a block of aethium to make it faster. All right, well, aethium is trivial. I'm swimming in that. 22,000 from, we just set that up at the start of the video, and we still have a bunch. Place above the circuitry in the back. Bam. All right, so from here, let's go do our trials to make glitched infused, and go make a mithrilium block to get more output. Let's do an Enderman trial. That's just one of the self-aware tier models I had on hand. If you do self-aware, you're guaranteed to get glitch hearts. Well, it took my flight away. That's rude. Much difficult. When you time in a bottle, it gets a little bit crazy. Ow, hold on. The mobs spawn very fast, and the audio sounds get a little bit messed up. Did I succeed? Are we done yet? We did it. And that's 12 glitch hearts. Wow, a lot more than I expected. But I think we can turn these into glitch ingots by... There's a thing we do with them, right? We like crush them on obsidian. We crush on obsidian to get this, and then we throw this in water to get glitch ingots. And then I guess we can make the armor. Not even that good armor. I'll pass. I'm now ready to start crafting our mithrilium. I went and checked to make sure I have sufficient aspects to make a small batch of this, and I'm going to make 10 of it. However, last time I did this, I had an issue where our altar was not auto-starting the recipe. I want to see if that issue reproduces, and if so, I have an idea for what might fix it. All the items went on and you heard the click, but the altar didn't start the craft. I'm pretty sure that's still because this automated user does not know how to craft. And I've tried the thing where we give the altar, have it use the Thaumonomicon to learn, right? But it's not learning. I think what's happening is it's trying to use the Thaumonomicon on the runic matrix. So I'm kind of curious. If I give this power, let's give it a power cell. Are all the automated users on the, are they all backed by the same fake user, or is there a different fake user per thing? So this one has definitely used our knowledge sharing, and I'll have it use a cheater's Thaumonomicon as well. But this one is still not starting the craft. All right, let's try. Can I burn it with a wrench? Yes. Burn you. So that it might be that all the each automated user has its own fake user. I know the extra utilities ones are that way. So we give you that. Actually, I don't know, which way are you facing? Maybe you clicked on the pillar. There's no air block around you. Let me redo my wiring a bit so I have an air block next to this automated user. This way, if I give you the knowledge sharing and that, it'll always use the first item, by the way, so I just use the extra slots as storage of sorts. It's definitely now used both of those. So if I rotate you back, how does a rotate even work? Are you facing? I have literally no clue which way you're facing right now. I want you to face the runic matrix. I don't understand. It's not starting the craft though. Nope, no can do. We'll do it manually. The fact that it starts manually does mean that the right items are on the altar, but I guess it means when I craft, for whatever reason, I have to click it myself. Oh well. Combined with the time in a bottle, that's not really a big deal. It just means I can't do it remotely. Now we can quadruple the output with adamantite. So this is just the next tier ingot. It uses mithrilium in the crafting, which is why we had to do the fancy, thing with the level emitter here. Is it this one? Where's the level emitter? Yeah, right here. So that we don't extract the mithrilium when we craft it. However, there's another challenge in adamantine here, and that is the fact that it uses primordial pearls. So primordial pearls are, we've crafted with them before, right? But they have leftover durability, or they have a durability value. So when you craft it with it, it starts at, I think, 8, and then each time you use it, its durability goes down 1. So we need a way to provide the primordial pearl with any durability value to the craft and extract the one that's left over, if there is one left over, when the crafting is done. To do that, I'm going to add another pedestal to my altar. It'll break the symmetry a little bit, which hurts our I guess I can give it a matching pedestal on the opposite side. But anyways, there'll be a dedicated pedestal for primordial pearls, and then we just need a way to say, while we're crafting a recipe that uses primordial pearls, put the pearl on the thing. The primordial pearl I have right now is not very healthy, so down to 3 durability. I want to test various ways to repair it. I feel like I've done this every pack I play that has primordial pearls in it, and then I forget what works and what doesn't. So this repair, it's pumping a lot of energy into it, but it's not actually getting repaired. Let's wait a second. Maybe this takes a lot of energy to repair. Wait, is it pumping energy in? Yeah, it's pumping 48,000 RF a tick into it. That's clearly not doing it. I tried the diamond anvil. This is like, nope. So guess that's the obvious ways. There's a reconstruct, this item that repairs from Thaumcraft. This might repair it, but you know what? We can craft these. I'm just gonna... Right, these aren't even hard to make. I guess void seeds are... Nope. Now that we can turn void metal nuggets into void seeds, they're not even hard to make. Yeah, I'm just gonna make a bunch of primordial pearls and let them break. Are they unbreaking enchantable? As they are. Let's try it. They don't look like they accept the enchant via a regular anvil. They don't accept enchants through the enchanting table. So there's probably a way to get the enchant on it. Maybe like Botania Enchanter or something. But you know what? That's more work than just making new primordial pearls. So I have my 3, and that's going to have to be enough. So I'm going to dump them all into a chest here. It's set to extract active with signal onto this pedestal, and this pedestal is set to extract active without signal back to the chest. So what that means is that as long as there is a redstone signal on this line here, a primordial pearl should show up there. I guess the signal's not actually reaching the conduits. There we go, fix that up. So while there's a redstone signal here, there's a primordial pearl on that pedestal. When the signal's gone, primordial pearl's gone. Primordial pearl's there, primordial pearl's gone. It more or less randomly selects which one to extract, and that's okay. To supply the signal, I have a bunch of level emitters here. Each one has a crafting card, and I will put adamantine ingot in this one. Apparently I can't drag from pins. There we go. So that when I am crafting this ingot, right, while item is crafting, that will be equivalent to turning this on. It'll put a primordial pearl there for the craft. When it's done, it gets taken away. I put a matching pedestal on the other side just to balance out the stability, but there will still be some instability while crafting with the pearl because it will never be a matched item. And that's going to be okay. So now when we register the recipe for the ingot itself, do it like this, and we take the pearl out of the recipe, we just leave the other stuff. Put that recipe into here, and then we're going to have to add another thing to, I think, selectively withdraw this while crafting, because this is crafted in the infusion crafter and later used as a center item in more infusion crafting. Melted down a whole boatload of items because I call this the wrong name all the time. Adaminite, not adamantine, uses like 500 total aspects. Let's see how much it is. 300, 420, nice. 500, 550, 570 total aspects per ingot. So I guess that just means it takes a long time to craft. But anyways, I should be good to craft at least 10 of these. So you see how now the primordial pearl is not included in the recipe. I dump the items in here. The auto start probably doesn't work because I wouldn't expect it to. Start it up. Time to bottle it to make it suck in the bits faster. And crafted. And then the next set, because the next set is starting immediately, I suspect that primordial pearl is not actually even being removed. But if the next set, if there was sufficient downtime, the primordial pearl would get removed. But anyways, I'm going to craft 10 of these. Oh no, it did get, or maybe it just degraded in quality because of damage. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to craft 10 blocks of it, or 10 ingots of this. We don't necessarily, well, we need 9 to make the block, right? But we don't quite need the block because the next step is 5x output. And that uses the next tier of material that's made from adamantine. So 10 ingots of this, turn it into a block for the quest, turn it back into the ingots, and now, actually, that didn't even complete the quest, I didn't hold it long enough. We can look into the last, there we go, the last tier of these Thaumic Editions metals, which is called Mythbinite. So material-wise, it's not that bad. It even uses less aspects. However, it uses this one Kalis one, which is a little bit tricky to get, but Thaumic Editions also has the seeds. So last pack I played with this, I went hunting for these blue wolves for like 6 days to get it. Nah, I got a better idea. Step 1, melt down 1 mithrilium ingot. This will produce our first couple points of Kalis 6. And then just grab a plain old seed. And are you done yet? Hurry up. Oops. Hurry up. I love a time in a bottle. And we can stop crafting those briefly. Drop the seed in and then pick the one we want. So thankfully this is alphabetical. And oh, it takes 20 points. We're gonna have to melt a couple more ingots. So once that gets all the aspects it needs, it spits out our one seed. I'm gonna put you back to making elementum for the time being, and then we can just plant and harvest, or harvest and plant whatever, this seed for more points of Kalis. Unfortunately, there is no agricraft variant of these crops, so we have to do the plain old harvesting. Additionally, if you harvest this with a first spread, give me a extra seed. If you harvest it with the harvester from actually additions, it has this bug where instead of giving you the seed back, it gives you a random vis seed. You could have used that as a feature to, like, from one seed make a field that grows every single one, but I don't think that's necessary. There's relatively few aspects that are even worth farming this way. Like, even for stuff, you know, Precantatia or whatever, you just use Mana Steel or something for it. There's plenty of better sources or easier sources. But anyways, you can see here, just off 3 plants, I already have 100 points of this stuff. So it's relatively quick, even without an automated farmer, and even without, like, I mean, I have sprinklers, but I'm not even pouring water on it or anything. 2 stacks and change is more than enough to make the 9 ingots I need of this to make the block. I'm going to make a couple extra ingots as well, because I want to also make the what's it called? Or smeltery thingy out of it. Yeah, just a smeltery. It has this tier of smeltery, so we have, right now we have the Mithrilium one, which is 100% efficient. The adamantine one is like 120, and this one's like 150% efficient. So out of each seed pod, if I were to melt it in the high tier smeltery, oh wow, that has a lot of aspects in it. It would give us, instead of 5, it would give 7.5. Don't know how that rounds. Have I mentioned before that I love the way Time Novato interacts with the Runic Matrix? I'm just sitting here spamming right click on the thing, and it's like instant crafting. I love it. Without it, each of these crafts would be like a minute-long crafting task, right? With it sucking in all the aspects and then the items one by one. It would feel awful, but this just looks beautiful. 14 Myth Midnight ingots are crafted. I need 15 total, but I get a 15th one from this reward here, conveniently enough. Looks like I calculated that. We can then turn 6 of them into plates to upgrade our smeltery. Oop, I guess this takes a bit more vis than we have in these chunks. So let's head over to our plain old crafting table over here, which I think has access to way more than 1500. I believe this is the most expensive single recipe in the game. So if we can craft this here, we can craft this anywhere. And there we go. Crafted. All right. I suppose now I have an extra midnight plate. Can we thing with it? Maybe I should have made, well, whatever. We'll probably use it for something down the line. I'm thinking maybe I should have made the plates in the metal press to save on the one, but doesn't really matter. Make the block, and let's go drop our block off on our shadow compressor. So, nice. Unfortunately, they do replace the pre-existing one, so you can't stack all the bonus yields, but now we should get 5x yield. So right now I'm making void seeds in here. I don't know if this currently ongoing process will produce 2 or 5, depending on, like, I had the void metal block there when it started. Let's find out. 16 becomes 21. So I guess it's based on what block is there when it's finished. Yeah, there's our first 5x yield. Now, what other ways do we have of boosting this block? A block of Ice Dragon Steel makes it consume less fluid. I don't really care. The fluid is fully automated and it's very cheap. Making this excuse me, dying. Making this requires setting up an entire ice forge and taming an ice dragon and getting some ice blood. Meh. Let's pass on that upgrade. So now we can start making our midnight ingots. How slow is this, by the way? 2000 ticks. It's 100 seconds, so 50 seconds with the upgrade. But we get 5 ingots per. And I think what I'm going to do with this is just batch craft it. Set it up such that, I mean, I have an input bus the size of the moon, so I can just drop off, you know, multiple sets of ingredients at once. On average, each set of ingredients will produce 6 ingots. Right, we get 5x output, but we also have a 20% chance of not consuming input. So it'll be about a 6x yield. So that's not bad. The dragon scales I need for this will come from deep mob learning. I remember that dragon model we took as a quest reward. Well, now it's making 4 dragon scales per pristine ender dragon essence. And I believe it's up to self-aware by now. I can find it. Yeah, it's been at self-aware for some time, which is a 50% chance for pristine. So technically, we're trading 1 piece of polymer clay for 2 dragon scales. Seems like a pretty good deal to me. Everything else that goes into here, we've already made. Empowered Void. Iridium, we have lots of now from our Void Miner, and Aethium also comes from our Void Miner. In fact, remember before I was hurting on Iridium? Yeah, now I have 12,000 Iridium ore. It comes from tier 5 and above only, though. All these ingredients will go into our massively oversized input bus. And I actually did some thinking about the math here. Each operation has a 20% chance, right, to not consume inputs. However, if it succeeds that role, the inputs are still there, and it has another 20% chance to not, to not consume inputs. On average, each set of inputs will actually run 1.25 times, not 1.2 times. It's an infinite geometric series. There's some math there. You're gonna have to believe me. I know I'm asking you a lot to believe my math, but at 1.25 times, I put in 4 stacks or 256 pieces, like recipe instances. So that will be 320 total operations at, what is it, 50 seconds per, is that's like 5-6 hours of runtime queued into this thing. So now it's here, it's running. All we have to do is wait, and then we'll get our midnight ingots to start doing our extended crafting stuff pretty soon. But anyways, I think that's all the time for today. Once again, we are at a point where I get to leave my game open to let long-running crafting processes craft. So when we come back next time, probably for me it'll be like in an hour, which means that we won't be even all the way through this batch yet, but we'll have at least some of our midnight ingots to put to use making whatever comes ahead. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.